and it's narrated by Abu Hurairah. And we're still sticking with the theme in our mini-series of whoever believes in Allah and the last day. And we talked about the importance of that because these ahadith point to us that whoever believes in Allah on the last day, there is a certain set of actions they have to do. So you can't separate between belief and action. Particularly these ahadith, they talk about conduct. They talk about moral conduct and how you carry yourself out in behavior with respect to others. So you can't separate that from Iman. And so what we're going to do, inshallah ta'ala, is utilize these ahadith to understand the strength of our Iman. How do we understand? By basically understanding what are the actions that in these ahadith that follow Iman that we're doing. Are we doing them to the best of our abilities? Are we not? Are we prioritizing them? Are we not? And so, inshallah ta'ala, this series will be helpful from that respect. So in this particular case, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليصل رحمه ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. So the hadith is whoever believes in Allah and the last day shall honor their guest, and whoever believes in Allah and the last day shall maintain or strengthen the ties of kinship, and whoever believes in Allah and the last day should say good or remain silent. Now, we've seen already the first couple of weeks the variations of this hadith in different forms. We've already talked about فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. We talked about honoring the guest, and we talked about the last one, which is say good or stay silent. The new one here in this hadith is فَلْيَصِلْ رَحِمَهُ, the one who connects or ties or joins the ties of kinship, of family. And we know Islam came to emphasize the concept of family because family is the building block of society. The strength of society, which Islam came to strengthen, is dependent on the strength of the building block, on the pillars that hold that society, which is the family. And the strength of the family is dependent on the bonds between the people in the family. So if you want a strong society, you have to have a strong family, and to have a strong family, you have to have strong ties, strong bonds. And so the hadith says, فَلْيَصِلْ رَحِمَهُ. Yasil means to join, and rahim means the womb of the mother. And so in Arabic it means to tie relationships that are connected through the womb. So that could be your mother's womb or your grandmother's womb, your siblings, your uncles, your cousins, your extended family. This is the group of people we're talking about. And this hadith tells us, if you believe in Allah and the last day, it is an obligation to connect the ties between your family members, including your extended family members. So we ask ourselves, how are we doing with our family members and our extended family members? This is a sign of our strength of belief in Allah and the last day. And for most people, there's issues with some relationships. And I kind of define these issues into two brackets. One bracket is, we're too busy, we don't have time to make sure we connect with family members. And so we don't really stay in touch. And to say that, I say, it's not about being too busy. It's about not prioritizing. Time management is not about finding more time. It's about what do you prioritize, and you put that up front. We don't prioritize, for many cases, relationship with family members, particularly extended family members. So for that, we need to prioritize that. That's the first side. The second bracket is, there is truly not a connection because there's animosity between people. There's a problem or an issue that happened in the past. And for that, we need to prioritize reconciliation and forgiveness. It's very hard, I know, particularly if you are the one that was wronged by another family member. It's very difficult. But it is mandatory. It's not to give up your rights, but at the same time, you don't give up that relationship. The Prophet ﷺ talked about on Mondays and Thursdays, deeds are raised to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And two brothers or two sisters or siblings or cousins who have not been on talking terms for more than 3 days, their actions are held up. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَنظِرُوا هَذَيْنِ حَتَّى يَصْطَلِحَا. Hold off on their deeds. Don't let them get to the highest level of heaven. Hold off on my forgiveness until they reconcile. And that's Monday and Thursday. And if you actually think about it, between Monday and Thursday, how many days? 2 days or 3 days? So that's the limit. You have 3 days to be upset with someone, not to talk to them. But after that, and we know a lot of relationships between family members for years. 4 years. Imagine being somebody in that relationship that we're not on talking terms, and your actions are not ascending to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that long. It's very scary. It's very scary. And so we have to work on these relationships. And I know it's hard. You don't do it for the other person, you do it for yourself. You do it for yourself because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ يَصِلُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَن يُوصَلْ. Those who connect what Allah ordered to be connected, which is the family connections, the family ties, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عُقْبَى الدَّارِ. Those are the people that are going to have a happy ending and a happy home in Akhirah. And the other side, وَالَّذِينَ يَقْطَعُونَ مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَن يُوصَلْ. Those who break what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered to be connected, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ سُوءُ الدَّارِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ in another ayah. Those are the ones who are going to have a terrible ending, a terrible home. And those will be the losers. And so inshallah ta'ala, this is just a reminder that if we have these relationships that need to be amended, we do that and prioritize that. Now, even if you yourself don't have those bad breaks in relationships, but you know a friend or a family member that does, or your spouse, you know they're not on talking terms with another family member, it is then your obligation to fix that relationship between them. We often see spouses, husbands stand beside wives, or wives stand beside husbands against other family members because this is my spouse. Sure, that's fine if it's on terms of justice. But if there's a connection, صِلَةَ رَحِم, between them through the womb, the wife or the husband has to help the other spouse get closer. This is an obligation on all of us. So I hope this was useful, and inshallah ta'ala we implement it. Again, this is a sign of belief in Allah and the last day. يروي الإمام البخاري عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه وأرضاه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليكرم ضيفه ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليصل رحمه ومن كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك.